Story 1. This happened about 7 or so years ago. I was a 20-year-old and 5 feet 2 inches tall with a baby face, so you could say I was used to being stopped by truancy officers. I was looking to make a little bit of money without actually having a job. I was in college and didn't want to dedicate too much time to anything other than schoolwork. I lived at home, and my tuition was paid, so getting a job really wasn't all that important. On occasion, however, I did odd tasks for my friends and family for a bit of pocket money. My father was, and still is, a middle school teacher. While he is well loved, paperwork isn't really his thing. I would regularly grade his students' work, nothing too intense, just multiple choice and such. Every now and again, I would take a day to go in and assist him in reorganizing the classroom itself. It was always a great time. The students were amazing, and I got to see my father doing what he loved. On this particular occasion, he had lunch duty, where he basically supervised the cafeteria and made sure the children didn't get too rowdy. Being a bored college student, I followed him down rather than stay in the empty classroom by myself. Once we were down in the cafeteria, I mostly just became a wallflower and kept out of the way while he called tables of preteens up for their meal. There were other teachers around assisting, and a few would wave to me when spotted. Most knew me from the previous occasions that I've been there, and those who didn't figured out the situation pretty quickly by asking myself or their coworkers. I hadn't been in a middle school cafeteria since I had been in middle school, but it wasn't anything overly impressive. It was a regular cafeteria, loud, messy, and full of children. I quickly became disinterested and simply leaned against the wall, drifting off into La La Land. Most people were content to just mill around me, but not everyone. I could feel someone staring at me, and after a moment, I checked my surroundings. A stocky figure was standing in front of me, clearing their throat aggressively. Giving them my attention, I was met with an angry-looking older woman that I did not know. With her hands folded over her chest, she glared down at me with a frown, tapping her foot in annoyance. I didn't say anything, waiting for her to tell me what she wanted. "Didn't you hear me tell everyone to sit down?" she asked. No, actually, I didn't," I replied honestly, as I wasn't listening. I barely listened in middle school when I actually attended. "Well, I did," she said. "Good for you," I responded. "Excuse you," she said, clearly taken aback. I started, but she cut me off. So, she raised her eyebrows and gave an exaggerated shrug. "Why are you still standing?" By this point, I was getting more annoyed than confused. I still didn't know what she wanted from me, but I don't like people talking to me in general, and I definitely don't like people talking down to me. So I'll admit I got a little snarky with her. "I'm still standing because I don't want to sit down," I said. "Now you listen here, young lady. You are going to sit down right this instant," she demanded. "No, I'm not," I replied firmly. "No, I don't know who you think you are, but as long as you're a student in this school, you will listen," she exclaimed. It was at this moment that I knew we'd made a mistake. I, of course, wasn't a middle school student, and I was highly offended that she thought I was. While small and unimposing, I'd certainly hit puberty hard enough not to be mistaken for a 7th grader. Still, I tried to be understanding that mistakes had been made, and I tried to backtrack. "Oh, I'm not," I started, but she cut me off again. "Yes," she spaced out the first single-syllable word. "You are." I don't even go here," I tried to explain. "Oh, so now you don't go here, huh? Then why are you here? HM? Go on, tell me another lie," she accused. Quite literally backed into a corner, I began looking around for my father, but I couldn't see him from where I was standing. I didn't need him to save me, however. I didn't know if I'd be able to convince this woman that 1, I wasn't a child, 2, I didn't attend the school, and 3, I wasn't a trespasser in a middle school before I either got detention or arrested. That's when a random 12-year-old came to my rescue. "Miss Robertson, your dad is looking for you." "Oh, your father is here, is he?" Grinning and twisting her head as if she was a snake being charmed, the woman looked extremely pleased. Turning to the kid, she smirked wide and gestured with her hands. "And just where is her father?" "Right there," the kid replied, waving down my dad and calling his attention over to us. "She's over here, Mr. Robertson," the child said. I didn't know what to say, so I just replied, "I'm 20, but he's still my dad," which didn't make all that much sense. Once the lunch aide became aware of what was happening, she left. She didn't apologize. She didn't double down. She didn't even wait for my father to come over. She just turned bright red and immediately left the room. I never actually told my dad because I don't think he'd let me lie down getting saved by a 12-year-old. Story 2. I'm doing my weekly laundry when this older guy said, "Hey," and waved me over. Now, I use this laundromat regularly, and there are often questions about using the machines from new people. Myself and a few other regulars are usually happy to help newbies. This new guy was in front of a brand new digital dryer that requires you to tell it how much time you want on it before putting in the money, like it gives you on-screen step-by-step instructions. The guy said, "How does this work?" I replied, "You tell it your temperature and how much time, then put the money." He cut me off. "No, I already put $1 in. Just make it go." You don't put the money in until it tells." He cut me off again. I had to put $1 in to make it do anything. This is stupid. It doesn't ask for money up front. He just didn't pay attention. Whatever. I was done being helpful. I walked away because I thought, screw him. "How do I get my time on it?" he asked. "Maybe go ask the attendant. She's in the other room," I suggested. "Why don't you give me $1? He said, motioning towards my bag of quarters. "No, I don't work here," I replied and went back to loading my own dryer. The guy got all huffy and stomped over to the attendant. She set him up, gave him $1 to calm him down, and walked away. He muttered, "The customer service here stinks." I said, "She helped you and paid the $1, so what more did you want?" "You could have helped me," he insisted. "I don't work here. I tried to be nice, customer to customer, but you're being a jerk. And jerks can fend for themselves," I responded. The guy suddenly realized that I was actually a customer and couldn't come up with a good comeback, so he walked away. I'm currently in my car watching him chain smoke on the sidewalk. What an idiot. If he'd followed the instructions, he would have been fine, but he had to prove he was smarter than the machine, and failed. Also, don't be rude to people, especially people trying to help you. Story 3. This I will never forget. I used to work at my local Walmart, but I only worked there for 3 months, then quit because I couldn't work the schedule I was on. I worked the graveyard shift. That means I worked from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. Fun. I quit because I would sleep all day and be up all night, have no time for family or friends, and I couldn't do that. Nor was I able to switch to the day shift since there were no openings for the day shift. After 3 weeks of me quitting, I returned to do some shopping and to return my vest and name tag. I was standing at the customer service, waiting for the general manager to come get the vest and tag. As I was waiting, this woman, Karen, walked up right to me, crossed her arms, and snarled at me. I said, "Can I help you?" Karen said, "Yes, I've been waiting for you to stop talking for nearly an hour." I replied, "I've been here for 5 minutes. What do you want?" "I need help. I want to buy a TV, but I can't carry it," she demanded. I don't work here, lady," I told her. The customer service girl held in a giggle as she tried to calm down Karen. "Yes, you do. You do work here. I saw you just a month ago working here," Karen insisted. "I quit like 3 weeks ago. I no longer work here. If you want help, how about you lose the rude attitude of yours and nicely ask for help instead of demanding someone? No wonder why people think you're a difficult person," I said. We had problems with her multiple times. Karen went on and on about how she's going to get me fired for this and how she knows the general manager. "Go ahead. I don't care. I don't work here," I responded. I put the tag and vest down on the counter and did my shopping. The general manager came up and fist bumped me as it was our way of saying hey to each other. He told me what Karen said and laughed. "I swear that woman is crazy. I tried to tell her that you don't work here." "That's what I told her," I said. "Don't worry, if she does anything, she will be banned," he assured me. I finished up my shopping, and what do you know? Karen slapped the general manager for being so inconsistent of her being assaulted by me. I didn't even put my hands on her. And next thing she knew, she was banned and arrested for attacking the elderly. The general manager is 86. She got what she deserved. Story 4. Cast. Me. Karen, the voice police. My mom. A really nice employee who I hope is doing well. The child. All right, to preface this, I'm not at a legal age to get a job, but apparently to this lady, I look like I am. Also, I have a deep, scratchy voice. I was at a store with my mother because she wanted wine and cigarettes, so I was just walking around for a bit until I spotted the child trying to reach something. I walked over to her and said, "Hi, do you need help?" trying to make my voice a little higher and sweeter as to not freak the kid out. The kid said, "I can't get the card." I grabbed the card for her and gave it to her, then turned around to leave when Karen entered the aisle. The kid says, "Thank you," while I'm walking away, and without thinking, I just said, "You're welcome" in my normal deep, apparently boyish voice. Karen walked up to me and said, "Excuse me, did you help my daughter with something?" She didn't say it in a rude way, so I just said, "Yes, ma'am," and figured that was it. Until she grabbed my shoulder while I was again just trying to get back to my mom. I said, "Can I help you?" And she asked what part of the store had frozen food. I told her and pointed her in the direction, and again tried to leave. She grabbed my arm and waved down an employee. He walked over and asked what the problem is, and Karen said, "Your coworker is scaring me and my child with her voice." I was shocked because I never thought this would happen, and just asked, "How am I scaring you?" The employee said, "I'm sorry, ma'am, but she doesn't work here." Karen started raising her voice. "Yes, she does. She helped me and my daughter, so obviously she does work here." I again told her that I don't, and to let go of my arm. She refused and started yelling. The employee told her that if she doesn't let go of my arm, then he will call security. She then let go and demanded, "Fire this girl now. Speaking like that to a paying customer is disrespectful." The employee again calmly tried to tell this woman I am not an employee. I gave him a look of "Can I leave now?" and he nodded, so I finally left to find my mom. Story 5. So first and foremost, I just want to mention this happened pre-COVID times. Before I start, let me give you some backstory. I live in a medium-sized town that only has one notary public. For your information, notaries public simply put, stamp legal documents. This is relevant because I happen to live right next to it. We share a common wall, and the two buildings look almost the same, but mine is on the corner. The only difference between the two is a sign on the notary, so I get a lot of knocks on my door. I keep my front door closed all the time for obvious reasons. Most of the time, people realize their mistake by the time I answer the door. Well, not this time. On one fateful day, I heard a knock on the door as I was leaving to meet my girlfriend and take her out to a fancy place. I was just getting my phone and wallet when I heard a louder knock. By the time I got to the door, the knocking became a loud banging. As soon as I cracked open the door to peek out, the door swung open, and lo and behold, a wild Karen was at the doorstep. Karen said, "I've been trying to get in for the past couple of minutes. Are you even open? I'm in a hurry and I'm late from my appointment." She pushed me aside and rushed into my hall. I said, "Excuse me, but you must be looking for the notary next door. This is a private property. Please leave." She checked my attire. I was wearing a shirt and jeans and said, "How stupid do you think I am? You're answering at the door dressed like that, and this isn't an office. I have been here twice. I want to talk to your boss now, you lazy person." "Listen, ma'am, I've already told you this is a private property, and the office you are looking for is next door. Please leave," I insisted. "How dare you talk to me like this? I can easily fire you on the spot. Now leave me alone and let me talk to your boss," she said as she stormed even further into my home until we reached the dining room. "Look around, miss. Do you still think this is an office? I need you to leave immediately," I exclaimed. Karen got herself a chair and sat down. "I had enough. If you don't get your boss, I'll do it myself," she said as she got her phone out and started calling my boss. "Hello, this is Karen speaking. Where are you? I'm in the office, and your stupid clerk doesn't want to help me." I couldn't catch the whole conversation, but oh boy, you should have seen her face turn a deep shade of red when she hung up. I got the finest apology when she realized her mistake and did the walk of shame out of my house. I still have a good laugh when I tell this story to others. Story 6. So I play a tabletop role-playing game every other Friday at my dad's friend's house. Before me and my dad get there, we stop at a gas station to get drinks and snacks. One day, my dad went to the bathroom while I got drinks and waited for him to get out. My arms were full of soda, fruit-flavored carbonated beverages, and various snacks when I heard someone clear her throat. Just for your information, I'm 16 and was wearing a hoodie and jeans, while the uniform is a black polo shirt with the gas station logo and khakis. She said, "Hey, I need you to go put gas in my car now. I'm already running late." "I'm sorry, ma'am, but the gas station doesn't have the service where the employee puts gas in cars. Also, I don't work here," I explained. "Nonsense. I see you here every other week, so I know for a fact that you work here," she insisted. "Yeah, I'm here to pick up drinks and snacks for the tabletop role-playing game." "That's it," I clarified. "No, you work here. Now do what I say, or I will get you fired," she demanded. Then she slapped the snacks and drinks out of my arms. At this point, an employee at the station walks up and asks here's the continuation of the story. What's going on. "This witch won't put gas in my car," the woman complained. "Miss, we don't have that service." "Also, this kid doesn't work here," the employee calmly explained. By now, the angry woman got really upset and just stormed out of the station and left. I picked up the items I had dropped, replacing any drinks that were shaken up. Then, when my dad got back, the employee gave us a discount, and we left. Story 7. This happened more than a few years ago, but I thought it'd be fun to share here since it's not your usual "I don't work here" story. I was shopping at the local superstore when some of them still sold live aquarium fish. I was going through the aisles looking for anything that caught my eye. 2 men in their 40s were waiting by the fish aisle. I went around the store and wrapped up my shopping when I realized I had forgotten cat treats, so I returned to the pet section and saw the 2 men still waiting there. I asked them if they had requested assistance. They told me that someone had been paged, but they had been waiting for almost 45 minutes, and they were understandably frustrated. I told them I worked at a pet store in the fish department and made small talk with them. I looked at the sink setup they had there, noticed a net, a specimen container, and bags. I offered to catch their fish for them, even though I didn't work there, because I knew how to do it. Their eyes lit up, and they overwhelmed me with appreciation. I got them the 4 huge calico fantail goldfish, and even though I didn't work there, it gave me a secret satisfaction because I knew they genuinely appreciated my help. I told them as I left that I had no idea how they were going to get rung up. But for waiting that long, the fish should be free.